Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Ordinary Council Meeting 4545. Council resolved to move into closed session where it considered item 8.1, the construction of the Gladesville Sports and Communities Facility. They approved the recommendation that was tabled in the report, that the report be received and noted, that the contract for the construction of the sports community facility at Gladesville Reserve, Huntersville, will be awarded to tenderer 1, and that any subsequent design changes be managed as post-award variations under delegated authority by the Acting General Manager. 3, the Council delegate authority to the Acting General Manager to execute the contract and any other documentation required to give effect to this resolution within the parameters of the available project budget, and that 4, additional funding be allocated to the project to ensure Council has an appropriate project contingency as outlined in the body of this report. We then moved into general discussion, and we had a resolution moved by Councillor Preston, seconded by Councillor Williams, and supported unanimously to move out of closed session. And we now move back into the agenda. Item 4.11, construction of Gladesville Sports and Community. Sorry, I will also add that we will be dealing with item 8.2 as a non-confidential item. So we'll get to that when we get through item 4.11. Councillors, 4.11, we've had the General Manager read out the recommendation, the submission. Moved Councillor Williams, seconded Councillor Preston. Any further discussion?
Could I just ask a point of order?
Councillor Blaine.
What is it that 4.11 is approving that we didn't approve under 8.1?
So 4.11. So just to be clear, 4.11, the construction facility of the Gladesville Sports and Community Facility was the report pertaining to the implementation of the project. The tender information, which was obviously commercially sensitive, was dealt with in the confidential report. Is there much variation in between the two?
There's absolutely none.
Okay.
There's absolutely none at all. It's just the tender information's been taken out of the public one.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I just, and again, this is probably just a formality. I understand that if we've approved all 4 rather than just number 2, for all intents and purposes, we've already voted for 4.11.
Yeah, is there any difference? No, as a matter of course, we can just ratify it in open council. Move Councillor Williams.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I've moved it.
Moved, seconded Councillor Preston. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favour?
No question. Discussion.
Sorry, you have discussion.
Yes.
Sorry, Councillor Williams.
Yes. Well, it's a question through you.
Question.
We've had a person provide us with an objection to the process because they believe we didn't do any public consultation prior to getting to this point. I was just wondering why we didn't do that, because that would be standard practice. So what is the reasoning why we wouldn't go and share this information with the public?
Councillor Williams, I think that this was always slated in the plan, and I'll let the director respond, but that was this project has been in the plan of management for a long time. I think that the specifics about detailed design, it's a complying development within that park, but I'll let the acting, sorry, it's been a long meeting. The director respond.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, through the Gladesville master planning process, or Henley master plan process, the functional design brief for that facility was developed through the community consultation, and that functional design brief is what informed the plans that you see today in the tender report. There's not much deviation from that. So the community and their needs and wants as derived through that process was put into that. Community consultation was not undertaken as it was done through a review of environmental factors, which didn't require a community consultation. However, we will put the plans on the website now and put up a project page post this meeting so that people can have a look at what's going to be built there.
Thank you, Councillor Williams.
A further question. Mr. Mahoney makes reference to a fact that where is it, down the bottom there, it says council at the meeting at Henley Community Centre on the 7th of December 2022 guarantee, well, before the contract was awarded, I request the plans be published for public viewing and comment as promised by the council at the meeting of the 7th of December 2022. So is that correct? Are we honouring our commitment to that meeting and that community?
Director.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, I wasn't at that particular meeting. However, the Henley Master Plan that was adopted last year did have that site, that the proposed location for that building and the very high level concept plan in that master plan. So it did get put on public exhibition, that master plan. So I do believe that we have consulted with the community on that particular element.
One thing, Mr. Mayor, that I should have included in that council was of the view at that time that the detailed designs would be put to the community before the contract was let. That's further up. So is that not the case?
Not that was not my understanding. My understanding is that the community understand that there's a multi-purpose sports facility being built with change rooms and a community area, which is exactly what's being built. So I didn't believe that the plans needed to go out to the community for comment.
Thank you, Director. Councillors, any further discussion? Councillor Lane.
Just following up on that through you, Mayor. I think while it's generally in accordance, that would be like, say, a house, fits on a lot. So why do neighbours need to know what particular house? Is there an opportunity, notwithstanding that we're appointing a contractor, that we could discuss with the Sustaining Gladesville Reserve Group what their specific comments might be? I feel that the objector is hinting at something that in particular that they might have wanted changed. And if it's, a change room in a particular location or a bathroom or whatever, could we not at least understand that and amend before it's too late?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, the REF has been approved with and the documentation is at 90% completion. There may be minor, very, very minor changes, and I'm quite happy to talk with that particular group. But as to moving change rooms and so on and so forth, but as I said, we will put a project page up, and I will reach out to that.
Councillor Lane, are you aware of something specific they want amended?
No, I know no more than you.
All right.
I'm asking if we can engage with them to understand what their specific concern is.
Yeah. Okay. Councillors, any further discussion on this item? If not, I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Against? That is carried unanimously. Now, councillors, with your indulgence, I'm going to move what was item 8.2 in the confidential session, and we will, for the second time tonight, rename it as item 4.12, and that is the General Manager Selection Panel. There is a recommendation in the report that council reaffirms the councillor to the General Manager Recruitment and Selection Panel together with the Mayor and Deputy Mayor. There was some discussion in the closed session. I'm open to having a amended motion or a proposed different motion. Councillor Prieston.
Could I please propose an amendment to this motion? Yes. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We've heard that there was a little bit of deterrence from the initial timeline presented to council by...
Right, Councillor, can we get the wording right before we go into discussion? So we need to get the wording of the motion before we have
and then
discussion.
I'll explain why.
Yes.
So if the recommendation could please be amended to say that council appoints...
Sorry.
Sorry, I'll just wait.
So that might have been me moving the numbers around too, so I apologise.
That council appoints a councillor to the general manager recruitment and selection. Is it called recruitment panel, Rosanna, or
Performance and performance.
Recruitment
and performance panel? It's referred to as two different things in this report, is why I'm asking. So, recruitment and performance panel, in addition to the mayor and deputy mayor. And maybe, can I ask a question?
You may.
Is there an ability for council to rectify the language in the prior motion or rescind the prior motion of council?
I think that this motion would supersede any previous motion. So if what we discussed in closed session is correct, I think that the intention would be that a further report be brought back to the next council meeting. After the committee had been formalised by this motion, and that that report be considered by council.
So number 2, that a report be brought to council.
Perhaps, sorry, if I'm just trying to assist here, that following the meeting of the.
But I thought it was just chronological, but
okay.
You could say that following this selection, comma, a report be brought to council which recommends the selection of a recruiter in relation to the position of general manager with capital G, capital M. And I think that could be all. I think that's implied though.
Councillor, is there a seconder to the motion?
I've already seconded it.
Did you second? Oh, well, we haven't finished it yet.
By councillor, the deputy mayor.
Yes.
And I offered to second.
Okay, all right. That's fine.
Could I defer to the seconder of the motion to see if that's sufficient?
Are you comfortable with that?
Yes, that
wording
covers
it. Okay,
thank you.
thank you.
Still remains to nominate and select.
Yes, let's deal with this principally first, and then we'll deal with the councillor selection for the third councillor to be on that panel. Councillors, is there any further discussion relating to this?
Well, I just
Councillor Preston
would like to say we've been told that there was a miscommunication in the appointment of the general manager recruitment and performance panel. Obviously, the mayor and the deputy mayor hold automatic positions on this panel, and what we now need to do is actually appoint a councillor to that panel. Previously, that hadn't been done for reasons of miscommunication in amongst the council staff and between general managers moving on and starting. So I'm not really sure what happened there. I can't really speak to that. However, I do think that we need to revert to the initial timeline and order, like sequence of events, in order to make sure that we have integrity in the selection of the general manager recruiter agency, and B, eventually the recruitment of a general manager to fill the position left by Mitchell Murphy. I think this is the most sound way forward. I moved a motion in the closed session of council to move back into open session to deal with this because I think it's paramount that we set the tone as to what we're doing to rectify the misrep in the last council meeting. And I think that this would soundly address that. So now we'll be able to, as a council, appoint an additional councillor to the General Manager Recruitment and Performance panel provided that this motion is voted in favour of by the council tonight. And then following that, the recruitment process can commence. And just for the avoidance of doubt, we sought advice from the director in relation to this, and she confirmed that this recruitment process had not yet commenced. So I think we're all okay, provided this recommendation and motion is approved by the council.
Thank you, councillor. Any further discussion? Councillor Williams.
Yes, I agree with that, Mr. Mayor, and my concerns initially that we deal with this matter in open council is now being realised, and I appreciate council doing that, because the most important thing a council can do, I believe, is recruit a general manager to run its business on its behalf. And that requires utmost transparency and scrutiny and integrity. And I think this now provides the opportunity for council to move forward in a way that does meet what I see as being a necessary, transparent process, and one that is beyond scrutiny. So thank you, Mr.
Thank you, councillor Williams. Any further discussion, councillors? If not, I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Against? That is carried unanimously. Councillors, call for nominations for the selection of panel member. Councillor Williams.
I'll nominate Councillor Lane.
Councillor Lane, do you accept the nomination?
Yes.
Is that seconded?
Oh. You can second your own. Yeah.
You can second it. Any other nominations? Councillor Kassab?
Nominate Councillor Vergara.
Is that seconded? Councillor Tanu Sleeman? I'll put that to a vote. If there are there any other nominations I might add? No, if not, I'll put that to a vote. All those in favour of Councillor Lane? All those in favour of Councillor Vergara? That is carried. Councillor Vergara is now on that panel. Councillors, we now move to item. Oh, sorry. Can someone get the acting general manager? He had declared an interest in this item.
Can I ask a point of order?
Councillor Lane.
When we have multiple nominations for panels generally, do the nominees not get to speak?
Needs to. I mean, did you want to speak to that item?
I did, yeah.
Generally, that's not been the way that we've done it. But you didn't speak. You didn't speak to. What's that? Sorry.
How do you know who to select then?
By a vote of council.
No, sorry. That's something more general. When we appoint committees and we have multiple people standing,
I'll say that I've never seen that happen before at council, and I've been here for 14 odd years. I'd certainly say it was not the convention.
Mr. Mayor,
Councillor Williams.
you required that of me when I stood for mayor.
I did.
Yes, you did.
When you stood for mayor.
Yes.
I think Councillor Collins demanded that of the mayoral candidates.
Yes.
Yes,
So
but not me, because I was vying for that spot at the time. Actually, no, I think I withdrew.
No, you didn't.
I withdrew. Yeah. But no, I don't believe that we've ever done that for committees from my time here. So it's not the convention. Right. Councillor Kassab.
Yeah, we didn't do it for any of the committees. The other committees when there was multiple.
Councillor Prieston, do you have a question?
Yeah, just a question through you, Mr. Mayor, to the General Manager. Are we able to just check that the code of meeting practice doesn't require nominees to a committee of council to be afforded the opportunity to speak to their nomination?
We can check that. We'll probably take that on notice, councillor. There are no items of correspondence or general business. Questions without notice. Councillor Lane, you've submitted a couple of questions. Are you satisfied with those?
That was with notice.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for the letter. It's excellent. I did have a question in relation to, sorry. Oh, yes. Sorry. In response to number 2 about the letter to the Harbour Trust, I appreciate the response. The issue I was bringing to council staff's attention was when we had a meeting at Alfred Street, and I appreciate that council staff weren't in attendance. I understood that councillors had made an undertaking that we would write to Harbour Trust, specifically requesting engagement with residents. I appreciate that we've been involved in the process, but notwithstanding, I believe, given that what I viewed as an undertaking to the residents, that we did actually want a letter to be sent.
I'm happy to send a letter to the. I had spoken to the CEO post that meeting, but I'm happy to send a letter formalising that. And I think you had sent around your notes, and Councillor Priest has already sent the notes around.
That's right.
The Harbour Trust were, I will say, very aware of that meeting taking place. I think that they even had a letter sent around to concerned residents about 20 minutes prior to the meeting.
That's right. And I thought
from memory.
And in the question with notice, I just asked whether or not a draft could be sent around, just so we're all aware.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councillors, that is all of the formal business on the paper. Any other items of agenda business? Councillor Priest.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. Just circling back on that, I've just taken a quick scan of the Code of Meeting Practice, and it, while it affords participation in the council meeting and the ability to address the council on agenda items, it's silent on a provision which would mandate or prohibit nominees from speaking to their own nominations during the appointment process.
Thank you, Councillor. Any other items of agenda business, councillors? If not, I will close the meeting. Councillor Williams, sorry, got there almost.
Probably not general. Well, it is general business.
Yes.
I think we all received a request from a resident down near the Priory. And I think it's important that council consider the appropriate maintenance of that location. And there's goodwill to the residents that surround it, that an open day, if it's safe to do so, would just give people a bit more insight as to what the building is, its purpose, and it's important.
I would be last time I went in there, I'd be very cautious letting people through. Well, maybe we can just go and look which rooms are available, because it's not in good condition internally. I remember a former general manager sinking through the carpet and the floor in Barry. So, councillors, we'll consider that. Thank you, Councillor Williams. If there's no other items of general business, I'll close the meeting at 8:28. Thank you to the multitudes viewing the live stream.